Proponent Premier, your presentation starts now. 3 minutes, please.
Adjudicators, teachers, coaches, and opponents, a pleasant morning. My name is Aliana Marriott, and I sit before you today as a Proponents Premier to discuss a thought-provoking motion that our team firmly advocates for. This House maintains that helping your country is a higher priority than personal success. Before I delve into my arguments, allow me to clarify the key terms in this moot. In the context of the motion, the term priority, defined by Oxford Languages, is a fact or condition of being regarded or treated as more important than others. Helping, defined by dictionary.com, means to give or provide what is necessary to accomplish a task or satisfy a need, contribute strength or means to, render assistance to, cooperate effectively with, and assist. We believe that personal success refers to living a life that aligns with your own values and goals, requires growth, balance, meaning, and fulfillment. Firstly, individual goals unified towards a common goal will eventually lead towards economic growth. If we don't prioritize it, the people we are investing in would be left astray as they may not always be aiming for the betterment of the economy. Instead, they may want to focus on their own success and well-being, not to mention that factors such as discouragement, lack of motivation, and influence can cause citizens and people to not want to be successful. The motion is forcing one to settle for what they have. Someone may choose to attain their happiness and well-being over the country, which would lead them to leave for a better opportunity. So if we prioritize the economy, the government would allocate their time to things under infrastructure, investment, technological innovation, sustainable practices, and global trade. That would all lead to a strong economy that the people want to contribute to. For instance, look at countries like Finland, where despite high tax rates, citizens enjoy benefits like free healthcare and education. This motivates them to contribute more towards the common good, knowing their efforts are directly improving the society. On the contrary, in countries like Jamaica, where corruption erodes trust in governments, citizens may not see the benefit of the contributions, leading to apathy and disengagement. Secondly, personal success can go both ways, good and bad. What someone deems as personal success, we may not deem it to be the same, or it may have nothing to do with the development of the country. To add, while persons may consider becoming wealthy through honest means as personal success, another may resort to unethical behavior such as fraud or corruption. These actions not only harm society but also hinder long-term economic growth. Conversely, when individuals prioritize contributing to the betterment of their country, they align their personal goals with national development, leading to a more sustainable and prosperous future. Let's not digest the ridiculous arguments the opposition is going to come with, but heed the facts we are presenting. In conclusion, while personal success is important, it should not come at an expense of national well-being. By prioritizing the interests of the country over the individual gain, we can create a more equitable and prosperous society for all. Let us appeal to values such as patriotism, social responsibility, and solidarity to persuade the audience that helping one's country is the right thing to do. Together, through collaboration and collective action, we can build a better future for generations to come. Without a well-developed country, people would not have the means to facilitate their personal growth or success. The proponents can temporarily rest. Thank you.
I would first like to refute a few claims made by the opposition. The proposition point is mainly focused on patriotism. We, the opposition, believe too much patriotism can lead to detrimental consequences in the economy and in society. As the first speaker of the opposition, I firmly disagree with the motion that this House maintains that helping your country is a higher priority than personal success. While the proposition argues for the importance of these, we believe that this stance overlooks the value of individual autonomy and the pursuit of personal fulfillment. The proposition has defined helping one's country as acts of patriotism, benefiting the nation collectively, such as civic engagement and safeguarding national security. However, it fails to acknowledge that personal success can also contribute to the well-being of society. Individuals who achieve personal success often create jobs, drive economic growth, and contribute to social innovation, ultimately benefiting the country as a whole. Furthermore, the proposition relies heavily on this to justify prioritizing the country over personal success. Moreover, prioritizing the country over personal success can lead to the suppression of individual rights and freedom and cause brain drain, as seen in authoritarian regimes where dissent is silenced and personal autonomy is restricted in the name of national interest. So take, for example, Cuba. Cuba gives free education to its citizens. However, when they pursue education, they have no jobs in the country left, and they have to migrate to other countries. When they put their patriotism before, this results in this consequence. This erosion of personal freedoms undermines the principles of democracy and individual dignity, ultimately harming society as a whole. In conclusion, while helping one's country is undoubtedly important, it should not come at the expense of individual autonomy and personal fulfillment. By accepting the pursuit of personal success, individuals can contribute to the well-being of society in diverse and meaningful ways. Additionally, prioritizing self can lead to greater innovation, entrepreneurship, and individual achievement, ultimately benefiting both the individual and society as a whole. Thank you.
Before I begin my speech, let me go ahead to rebut some of the points made by the other speaker. On individual autonomy. While individual autonomy is essential, it is essential to recognize that no individual exists in isolation. We are all members of a larger society with interconnected interests and responsibilities. Prioritizing the needs of one country does not negate individual autonomy, but rather acknowledges the importance of collective action in addressing shared challenges. Now, moving on to their point about innovation. Prioritizing the needs of the country does not stifle innovation and progress. Rather, it creates an environment where innovation can flourish in service of national priorities. Now, beginning with my speech. Honorable judges, respected opponents, and esteemed audience members, a pleasant afternoon. My name is Maguwa Mazola, the proponent's deputy premier. As we conjugate today to discuss the motion, this House maintains that helping your country is a higher priority than personal success. Let us challenge ourselves to consider the collective well-being of our nation as a paramount objective while prioritizing above personal achievements. Commencing with the introduction of national security. Mr. Speaker, placing national security as a paramount concern above personal success is an unwavering imperative, as it bears a direct and profound influence on the safety and welfare of every individual within a nation. The preservation of national security forms the foundational bedrock upon which societal stability and individual well-being are built. A secure and stable nation provides the necessary framework for citizens to pursue their personal goals and aspirations without fear or apprehension. Secondly, delving into the significance of effectively addressing crisis. When individuals come together to support their country during crises such as natural disasters or public health emergencies, they can pool their resources, expertise, and efforts to address the situation quickly and efficiently. Mr. Speaker, when the opposition questions how can Jamaicans contribute to national efforts if they lack resources, they fundamentally misunderstand the nature and scope of resources that drive societal progress. Mr. Speaker, resources extend far beyond financial assets and encompass knowledge, skills, and community networks, all of which are abundant in Jamaica. The response to crisis often requires the collective pooling of these resources rather than individual financial contributions, as evidenced by the coordinated response to natural disasters in Jamaica, such as the 2017 Hurricane Irma, where citizens came together to provide assistance and support. Additionally, by investing in initiatives that promote social progress and address systematic changes such as education, infrastructure, healthcare, and social welfare programs, we create an environment where personal success becomes more accessible and meaningful for all citizens. Let us consider the transformative power of education and community engagement in Jamaica, exemplified by the pioneering work of the Jamaica Societal Investment Fund. JSIF has been instrumental in mobilizing communities and leveraging their strengths to address the challenges of poverty and underdevelopment. Through projects focused on improving community infrastructure, education, and health services, JSIF
has shown that the true wealth of a nation lies in its people's capacity to collaborate, innovate, and contribute their skills for the common good. In conclusion, if a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Similarly, if we achieve personal success in a failing society, can it truly be considered success? Or is it merely a silent victory in void of collective hardship? Mr. Speaker, as we stand united in this debate, let us affirm our commitment to the principle that the collective well-being of Jamaica is paramount, reminding ourselves that national success paved the way for personal success, not vice versa. The proposition temporarily rests.
Good morning, judges and my fellow opponents. I stand before you as the second speaker of the opposition, which believes that we stand against the motion that this House maintains that helping the country is a higher priority than personal success. Now, firstly, I'd like to refute a few claims made by the proposition. They said that personal success attaining this is a silent victory to our people. But guess what? It is through the personal success that we are able to build our country. It is through personal success that we are able to effectively do what we should to build the people. They also spoke about the people's capacity. And guess what? It is through personal success that we are able to effectively see the capacity of each and every one. And as this is how we are able to develop where we lack and what we can contribute. Now, moving on to my speech. Now, do you think that being successful as a person is selfish because we say that we should build the country? But this shouldn't be the case, as everyone wants to be successful. According to Forbes 400 2023, as some of the richest men in the United States are Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Larry Ellison, Warren Buffett, persons have taken inspiration from them because they have seen what they have done and that some of them were also poor and have decided that they too can also build their own businesses, which can help the economy. And currently, the United States of America has the largest economy in the world with 27,974 billion USD, and they have collected $4.4 trillion in income tax in the year of 2023. This money can be reinvested in various sectors such as medical, defense, and education, among others. And this in turn is serving the country while also becoming successful. Now, let us look at the experience of the lady who served 22 years in the police force and had cancer in the eye. Where did she have to go? She had to go to GoFundMe. Isn't her 22 years in the force helping the country to develop by giving peace and stability? But at the end of the day, what was her reward? What was her reward is that she was abandoned by the very country she served. Had it been that she had pursued personal success in the form of entrepreneurship or otherwise, she could have been able to fund her surgeries and also the very sad stories of veterans who served their country but are now living in poverty. If the people should forsake their personal success for the country, there should be an equivalent reward for all. And guess what? Examples of personal success goes to also higher education. Now, according to Investopedia, the improvement of education tends to raise productivity and creativity as well as to stimulate entrepreneurship and technological breakthroughs, as all of these are factors that lead to greater input and economic growth. Now, how can we further develop the country without education? If it's through education and other achievements that this will be possible, that we'll be able to plan and structure how we build the city, how we better use the resources efficiently and accurately, and also to start businesses, among other things. So when we don't allow for personal success, and international countries do, then people will migrate, achieve the personal success, and in kind build the international countries. And this is something that has been happening here since the 1970s. We as the opposition firmly believe that building the country is important, but it should not be placed as a higher priority than personal success. Thank you. The opposition rests.
The proponent whip, you have 4 minutes.
My opponents assert that prioritizing personal success fosters a meritocratic society where individuals are rewarded based on their skills, talents, and efforts. You say that veterans are suffering, but which country are you referring to? Because it is not Jamaica. Navies in Jamaica have a lot of benefits. While meritocracy is ideal worth striving for, it's important to recognize that not everyone starts from an equal position. Prioritizing the needs of the country can help level the playing field by providing opportunities and support to those who may face systematic barriers to success. Personal success is inaccessible if the country is unable to foster the individuals' development and success. 80% of people with degrees migrate. The opposition clearly knows not what they are talking about. No man is an island. So if we focus on our personal success over civic duty, what happens to the people in the wider community? What do they benefit? Personal success is self-actualization. It affects me and the people in my immediate circle. Personal success leaves room for choice. What guarantee does the opposition have that pursuing personal success, I will pour back into my country?
For the question, education is considered a merit good, and as we all know that merit goods is beneficial to the individual and it is strive on personal success, but in the long run it will be beneficial to the country more than how it is beneficial to the individual. So as you asked that if we will pour what we achieve our personal success in the country, yes, in this case it is kind of mandatory that it will go into the country, as one of your teammates mentioned education. And my answer is yes, it will be automatically poured back in the country, as that's what merit goods are for. Thank you.
I think the opposition has gravely misunderstood my question. I said, what guarantee do they have that I will pour back into my country? When I pursue my personal success, I don't want to have it here in Jamaica. 80% of Jamaicans with degrees, they migrate. They don't pour back into our country and ensure national development. So the opposition, they have no guarantee that when I pursue my personal success, that I will pour back into this country to ensure national development. Only through remittance do we ensure national development. And that is by helping our country, prioritize helping our country. How do you propose balancing the pursuit of personal success with collective responsibility for addressing global challenges such as climate change, pandemics, and economic instability?
Can be done through education, as you are educated, as you have stated before. Through education, we found out what are the global challenges, how we can effectively tackle them. And with this, we are able to say that we are able to balance it accordingly as we are taught the proper management skills that we are able to use to effectively do this at the effectively point. Thank you.
The Jamaican people receive several educations, several lessons on littering. But what do we see every day? Littering. The Jamaican people receive education every single day about scamming. But what do we see prevailing every single day? Line banging. So can we please, personal success does not equate to national development, but helping our country will equate to personal success. So we should prioritize our country's development, prioritize helping our country, and personal success will be a symptom. Personal success will be inevitable. Thank you.
The opponent whip, your turn. Your 4 minutes starts now.
We have presented a well-reasoned and evidence-based argument opposing the motion. Our position not only addresses the concerns raised by the proposition, but also offers practical solutions that benefit society as a whole. Before I close off, I would like to ask a few questions. Firstly, what are the rewards if personal success is set aside? If we set personal success aside, much wouldn't be achieved because most things that have benefited the country derive from personal objectives and goals. So could one of you please explain that to me?
What we strive to achieve, like what? As I said before, we are not setting personal success aside. We are prioritizing helping our country. And by prioritizing helping our country, personal success is a symptom. Personal success is inevitable. Look at national merits. When we prioritize helping our country, is it national merit, personal success? And let me tell you something, personal success is subjective. Personal success to me may be waking up every morning and putting on deodorant, right? How does that help national development?
Excuse me? You're not necessarily answering the question. I'm asking, what are the benefits? What are the benefits? Could you please tell me the benefits?
Of prioritizing our country national merits.
Is unethical means of making money personal success? Could you please answer that question?
It is most definitely personal success is subjective. Personal success is subjective. Personal, a synonym for opinion, is something that is subjective to you. Personal success to me is waking up every single day and putting on deodorant. Personal success to me is making sure my business is a multi-billionaire business through unethical means. Personal success to me is winning that election by buying my votes.
And with that being said, and starting a business, that is personal success also, but it will also benefit the country. Does individuals exist in isolation? Take North Korea, for example. Could you answer that question? Does individual exist in isolation?
In Jamaica, we're not debating about North Korea here. We're speaking about Jamaica. Can you give me a context in which you speak about Jamaica?
But your speaker mentioned Jamaica compared to Finland. Finland is a developed nation. If Finland is developed by taxation, why can't Jamaica? You mentioned Finland. There's not a comparison between Finland and Jamaica. So could you explain that?
No, we do not exist in isolation. As we say every day in our national pledge, no man is an island. No man is an island. So we do not exist in isolation.
So now you can answer the other question about Finland.
Please rephrase it for me.
Finland is a developed nation, and if Finland is being developed by taxation, why can't Jamaica do that? And Finland is a developed nation, and you cannot compare Finland to Jamaica. Hence, what you said about Jamaica being compared to South Korea. Finland offers free healthcare services, as your first speaker mentioned. Jamaica is not a stable economy, so therefore they cannot offer that kind of service. So could you tie that back?
Thank you so much.
Could you please tie back what your first speaker said to the motion about Finland?
Thank you so much. Jamaica is not a stable economy. So how are we going to prioritize personal success in an unstable economy? How are we going to prioritize personal success in an unstable economy? Which is why we should focus on prioritizing and helping our country.
So how can you prioritize the country if you have not prioritized yourself? How can the country benefit if you don't have a major mind?
The country's main resource is human resource. Everyone serves a purpose. Don't the garbage men serve a purpose?
The same boat did not start running to say Jamaica, yes, I start music to say that Jamaica found reggae to benefit itself, and yet still Jamaica.
Opponent, if you're out of time, I suggest that.
Could you repeat that? I'm not hearing you.
You're out of time, sir. I suggest that you sum up your question and answer.
Okay, in conclusion to this, that's why we win this debate, because we have provided a well-reasoned and evidence-based argument. Thank you.
Ms. Davis, if you're ready.
I am.
The rebuttalists from the proponents.
Okay. The opposition misunderstood our example about Finland. We know Jamaica is a developing nation, but it does not mean that we cannot take into consideration strategies being used by developed nations. Adjudicators, teachers, and opponents, good afternoon again. Before I begin to bury every argument put forth by the opposition, let me first reiterate my team's substantive. My premier speaker spoke on prioritizing economic success, which will inevitably promote personal success, and my deputy premier speaker expounded on the importance of prioritizing national success over personal success, and she delved into the effectiveness of citizens pooling their resources to address crises such as natural disasters. Now back to uprooting the very foundation my opponent's arguments were built on. Their first speaker said that prioritizing personal success will inevitably lead to a better and developed nation. A lie. While helping your country will promote personal success, the same cannot be said reversed. Personal success is subjective, Mr. Speaker. What if personal success to me is waking up every day and putting on deodorant, or perfecting my accent to bang the line again? what in that should be prioritized? What in that aids in the betterment of our country? Additionally, the opposition is proposing we support a vacant country by encouraging brain drain. 80% of Jamaicans with degrees migrate. When individuals prioritize personal success over the country's development, it will lead to brain drain, where talented individuals leave Jamaica for better opportunities elsewhere. This deprives Jamaica of valuable human capital and undermines its ability to progress and provide opportunities for future generations. Take, for example, Mr. Speaker, the 854 teachers that left our country suffering last year. We are not denying them a better life, but prioritizing personal success over helping the country is a measure we cannot support. If we prioritized helping our country, do you think those teachers would have migrated? Lastly, strengthening the country benefits everyone. Helping the country leads to a more resilient nation with a thriving economy. By giving back to the country through taxes, a pooling of citizen resources, and other contributions, individuals ensure the stability and prosperity of the nation. If we indulge the utopian views of the opposition, we risk exposing our country to brain drain, where all our talented individuals will leave this country. Our substantives are irrefutable. The same cannot be said for the opposition. But before I proceed to sweep their feet from beneath them, let me summarize our facts. Firstly, if we unify our goals toward a common goal, as my premier opponent mentioned, we will be fostering economic growth, technological innovation, and sustainable prices. The opposition's first speaker mentioned that helping our country will lead to a suppression of rights and that patriotism is not beneficial. Are you kidding me? Let us remember that our country's major resource is human resource. So what my opponents are telling me is that we should abandon Jamaica altogether. Also, my opposition have yet to provide a framework in which prioritizing personal success will be feasible. Where is it, my opponents? Thank you.
Your 3 minutes starts now. Wait, Anthony.
Okay, so the proposition did not answer majority of the questions asked. The question still remain, did Usain Bolt started his career just for the country? No, let me answer that for you. He did not. He started it for his personal success and gains. They mentioned if a tree falls in a forest and no one heard it, will it still make a sound? Maybe it doesn't, but through damage, yes, we will see everything that happens in the country, either if it is from personal or natural causes. Yes, we will see everything. Brain drain, yes, brain drain is derived from personal success and, as you said, remittance. Even when people migrate to a foreign country, money remittance is still benefiting the society as a whole. You also misunderstood the questions and you concur to what we were opposing to. We weren't opposing to the fact that the country should not be considered. Yes, the country should be considered, but through us, through our trying and our tribulation with our personal goals, it will then go back to the country. As I mentioned earlier about education is a merit good, let me define merit good. Merit goods are goods that are beneficial to the person and it has a major impact than on the person to the country. So yes, education cannot be free and healthcare is definitely not free, as you mentioned. I mentioned that you mentioned that those individuals exist in isolation. You mentioned that and you still did not answer the question that was asked about it. So I concurred it with Finland, sorry. Finland is a developed nation, as I stated before, so we cannot contest that because the first speaker mentioned that free healthcare and taxation and stuff. No, that is outrageous to compare our third world country with that. So with that being said, thank you. I rest my case.
First of all, I want to commend the 6 students for the obvious effort put into preparing their arguments. I want to commend them for their energy and their passion. I want to commend them for the interest that they have given into this debate. I want to just highlight, just to be mindful of your pacing when you're speaking. I know that the time is limited, so you're going to have economy of words so that it's not too fast and then we're not able to follow the flow of argument. So do be mindful of your pacing. That's for Queens especially. I want to commend Mr. Cox from Port Antonio. I thought he had a really good pace in developing himself and was able to follow. The whips, wow, that was really whipping. That was a very passionate exchange between Ms. Allen and Mr. Hilton. And I really was impressed with your listening and then trying to respond to them. Just to be mindful that you're not going to be overriding the other person in getting your response. I know the answer wants to come really urgently, but just be mindful when you are responding not to override them, and that it could become a rude interruption when the other person is speaking. I really also want to commend Mr. Hilton that he did come with his questions and he did listen and respond to what Ms. Allen was saying. But I thought that both of them were really going very strongly head to head. So in terms of who we are judging, it was really close because, as I said, everybody came strong with preparation and their examples. But we're going to give for this practice round the edge to Port Antonio High, but we're going to award the best speaker to Deputy from Queens. But like I said, it was really well done and contested and energy. And this was a practice round. And we just want to commend you both. Thank you very much.